I really, my heart goes out to the kid who has to resort to crime and violence because you don't have a black male figure to teach you and show you something that's greater than yourself. To show you don't have to take from nobody, you know? And I'm a pretty big dude. I could pretty much take from anybody I want. But it's something that's just in me and something I was just brought up with that's just like, hey, man, you don't have to do that to be successful. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to resort to your lower frequency to become who you're supposed to be, you know? And I had a lot of friends that's just done, you know what I'm saying? We're the same age and their life's just done, you know what I'm saying, to the system just because they reacted off emotion. They didn't have someone, or they didn't take heed to the knowledge in time enough to say, damn, I don't need to pull this trigger on this man. Or,
from a medical model, can sickness raise health?
no.
Okay. So if you have a neighborhood that's sick, right, and I don't care if it's child or father or mother, sickness is sickness.
Yeah.
Sick parents cannot raise healthy kids.
Mm.
Mm. So then, and we have this Band-Aid approach. We try to correct sickness with a behavioral model.
Mm.
So we lock them up, they do this, they do that, but that doesn't help them become well.
Mm.
So we need this approach with the disease of violence
Mm-hmm.
needs to have a medical model for healing.
Mm-hmm.
When you go to the doctor and you're sick, the doctor will give you a prescription.
Yeah.
The doctor say you need to take these pills 5 days a week for the next 2 weeks and you will get well.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is the doctor responsible for you taking the pills?
No.
No. But if you want to get well, you take the pills. If you take them just for 2 days and say, oh, I feel better, and you stop, you will relapse.
Yeah, you'll relapse.
Right. So you need to take the prescription fully.
Yeah.
Our prescription for health in our community isn't there.
Yeah.
And even a young kid knows when he's not, they know when they're sick because they're crying for help.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, man, I ain't got no money, so I'm going to get me some, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's a sick mentality because you're saying that if you had money, you might be better. Now, we know that if you had the money, you wouldn't be better, but it isn't about the money. It's about your whole being.
Yeah.
Your whole soul is asking to have health.
Yeah.
And so we have to start providing that model for health for our kids.
And that's crazy. I remember being like 17, 18 years old, and I'd be like, bro, like with the homie that I tell you about all the time, babe, who's doing all that time in jail, we used to be just sitting around in his apartment, and we'd be like, bro, I'd be like, bro, I need some money. What we gonna do? And his first answer would be, let's go rob somebody.
Mhm.
And I'd just be like, I'd just be thinking.
Well, of course, but you have healthy people who are around you.
Yeah.
So the sickness came in, you say, wait, say no. Well, that's crazy.
I ain't finna hurt nobody
Right.
for no cash, man.
But now
You know?
think about somebody in the room who didn't have any health.
Yeah.
So he'd be saying, let's roll.
Yeah.
That's what it's like.
And you
right?
know, just to see people do that to somebody is.
Well, if you don't have an outlet for black men to be able to do something to relieve the pain,
Yeah.
then they're going to go to pain and help hurt people.
Mm-hmm.
So our communities are lacking in jobs. Our communities are lacking in where do our young people go to release? They can't go to the gyms. They're locked up. They can't go swimming. They can't learn. They have no money to go nowhere. Everything is closed down to them. So where do they go? They hang out and they learn from each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we have to have. Even when I was in high school, every summer there was a job for me.
Mm.
I wasn't hanging in the street. I had adults around me teaching me how to work at this place called the Federal Aviation Administration. 8 days, 5 days a week, 8 to 5. I was surrounded by healthy adults saying, Jerry, you shouldn't do this, Jerry, you should do that, you should learn to type, you should do this. So I had health around me.
Mm.
Today we have nothing to do, no way to employ our young people.
Yeah, and that's the big thing. How do we tell a young 17-year-old male, hey man, don't do that. Don't go out here robbing, stealing, this, that, and the other, when he don't have
No options.
He don't have no option. He doesn't have a mom
Mhm.
that supports him to put money in his pocket every
Right.
week. You know, when she's just trying to.
And he cares about his family.
Yeah,
So he's trying to do the best he can to help his family.
Yeah.
Even though it's in a distorted way because he has no other outlet but the
And it's
ones that
such
are
a
there.
self-destructive way.
Exactly.
You know, and it leaves us to no solutions.
And all this is by design.
Because how do you tell a young man not to rob and steal when he literally has no clothes? He literally has no new
Right.
clothes for the year. Like I've been friends with so many young men who've been in and out of the penitentiary, just because, you know what I'm saying, they'll be doing things out of necessity, like my old friend, and he knows you very well. You know, he has such a good heart, you know, but
He's sick. He's diseased.
he don't, yeah, he's just
That's all.
sick. He's caught in the trap, and he don't
The
have.
man is beautiful. The
Yeah.
disease got him.
Yeah, and honestly, I think the universe watches out for people like that, but at the same time, it's like it's a way of.
It will, but if you don't understand that that's what the universe is doing, you're still going to make them choices that
Yeah.
put you at risk.
That puts you at a high risk.
Mhm.
You know, my brother, I tried to tell him many times before he got locked up. I was like, bro, you don't got to take nothing from nobody, you know, whatever. But he was just, you know, he wasn't trying to hear it, you know. And
Like I said, sickness does not listen to health.
yeah.
It doesn't. They're on two sides of the spectrum,
And
right?
sometimes, you know, because I grew up in programs around healthy people that's taught me, you know, take the path of righteousness. You know, you're doing this, that, and the other is going to lead to death and destruction. Do the righteous thing. Do the proper thing, you know. And
But that don't mean you weren't going to be tested.
that doesn't mean
You
you're
won't
going
be
to be tested.
Right.
I had a friend, his name is Greg, and he has a little brother, right? Was a menace when we was kids, you know.
And it's to society.
For real,
Right.
for real, real menace.
Mhm.
And me and Greg happened to get into the program, but his little brother didn't. And you know, now we look at our future. Now Greg has, you know, 3 kids, a wife, you know what I'm saying, a good HVAC job,
Mm-hmm.
and little bro is, you know, has a bullet in his chest,
Mhm.
in and out of the penitentiary,
Mhm.
hella kids, and ain't cool with none of, you know what I'm saying? It's just, it's just, you know, people are gonna take heed to the information when they want to, and I feel like we all learn at different paces, but it's important to, you know, because we know that young men and women don't have these options that we provide the ones who can take heed to the information, that option, you know. And I think Greg was one of the kids who were able to listen, you know, just
If he
like
had
me.
the options and if he had everything that was available to him. Now, that's not saying that we have everything, somebody ain't gonna go wrong.
Yeah.
But when it's the numbers that are going wrong
Mhm.
because they don't have options, that's what's the tragedy. When we have the ability to make communities whole.
Yeah.
But remember, it's by design. And you don't hear about this in other neighborhoods that are patrolled and not policed. You don't hear about it in their neighborhood until it becomes an epidemic. Like all of a sudden they start overdosing on opioids, and then all of a sudden
Yes.
they're all in the news.
Yeah.
And then they'll say, "Oh well, we need to have rehabilitation." Notice they use the medical model now.
Mhm.
We need to have. They don't say, "Well, we need minimum for them." we need to lock them up because they're predators. You know, that's not the same language in that neighborhood versus another neighborhood.
Yeah.
So it's by design.
Yes.
By design. But thank goodness you're healthy and you're healthy,
Yes.
Right.
right? Because I know as we grow up, like your friend that said he got a good job and
Mhm.
the wife and he's doing everything, he's raising healthy kids
Mhm.
because he's healthy.
Mhm.
So that's the savior. And what's happening a lot is our young men who've gone through it and they start to have kids, they can go 2 ways. Children can either change you because they come to teach you something, and they will do anything to make sure their kids don't go through what they went through. Those are some model parents. Those are the ones I want to find and give them every resource they need because they will raise healthy kids because they know what hell is like. Right? And the ones who are just out there, it's like rehabilitation, got to get them into those programs. Right?
Mhm.
But who's our mayor there, Steinberg, talking about that? No. Right? 'Cause not until you get that radio station, put everybody on blast.